Hey guys, it's time to talk about camera movement.
I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. Yeah, I like to move it.
Now this is actually pretty advanced stuff, so before you get into moving the camera around, make sure you have a handle on everything else, especially the joystick. You gotta practice with it so you can make sure it can move around smooth and just very natural feeling movement of the camera. You also have to think about what you're gonna put before and after and have all those shots lined up and ready to go. So make sure you got everything else down. This is the very last video that you wanna watch. But we use camera movement because it creates interest and energy. Video is all about movement. And so this interest and energy, it's much more than you're gonna get from just the standard static shots. Static is where the camera doesn't move. There's three things that you need to know about moving our cameras. Number one, the technical capabilities specific to our PTZ optics cameras. Two, the artistic concepts involved. And three, the specific motion paths that you're gonna wanna follow. So first, let's talk about the technical capabilities. You wanna make sure that the pan, tilt, and zoom speed is set to 0. Hit the speed button and use the joystick to navigate the menu. Left and right, change the speed number, and up and down switch categories. Because the NDI cameras are digital, everything has a number. There are 24 speed settings for pan and tilt and 7 for zoom. The other speeds are preset movement and focus, and we keep the preset movement all the way up so that it can jump very quickly from preset to preset. Now I know what you're asking, why don't we just always leave these at 0? That's because we're impatient. And when we're setting our presets during rehearsal, sometimes we increase the speed a little bit so the camera doesn't move so slow and kind of get it to where we want it to go, and then we forget to move it back. So that's why you should always check it, set it to 0 before the service starts. Our PTZ optics, they are really great cameras, but everyone has a weakness. Our kryptonite is our speed control. Now, here's the bad news. No matter how hard you push the joystick, or push or pull or whatever, the cameras are always gonna move at the same speed. It's a predetermined speed. All of this is because PTZ controls are mechanical versus the traditional tripod controls, which are based off of a ball joint. So here's the really bad news. Even at its slowest speed, these cameras move pretty quickly, especially when they're zoomed in. Zoomed out, however, they move nice and slow. Keeping this in mind, it is generally more advantageous to move the side cameras, cameras 5 and 6, because they're much closer to the stage, and the zoom factor is greatly reduced, therefore the speed is slower and the movement is smoother, especially the pan and the tilt. Some other artistic concepts to be thinking about is that movement works the best during the chorus or the loudest parts of the song, right? The music has a lot of energy, and so we want our video to have a lot of energy. Although you could also do it on the verse, I mean it works too. You just don't want to be moving it a whole lot at the quieter moments, all right? Keep it for the big energetic moments. Using just zoom or just pan is okay, or just tilt even, but the best is when you have a combination. So you have like a zoom pan, right? That's the best type of camera movement. It's the most interesting. Okay, last thing. Do I even need to say this? Don't move during the sermon. Ugh. Yeah, if the speaker walks out of the frame, probably the best thing you do is just switch to a wider shot. This obviously looks better if you can anticipate their movement and not react to their movement. We generally discourage tracking with our cameras because they move too quickly, but if the speaker's moving around a whole lot and you gotta track a little bit, it's a lot easier on a long shot, head to toe. Don't be moving the camera all around if you're on that medium shot. It's gonna be just like you feel sick to your stomach. Okay, so let's talk about the different types of motion paths. I encourage you to get creative and find your own. Here are the top 3 that I use, and I think you should try these out, okay? So the first one, this is kind of your best one, it's called a pullback shot or a zoom out. This is pretty much the perfect shot for the beginning of the chorus, especially the second chorus or the third chorus on upbeat songs, right? So you start zoomed in close on the worship leader, about a medium shot or even closer, and as soon as you hit that chorus, that camera starts to pull back. In fact, the best way to do it is you start to pull back first a little bit and then fade into that camera. Do a merge or a fade, and then the camera's already moving, right? And then before the camera stops, you merge into the next shot. So it's seamless transition. Number 2, panning the audience. This is great for cameras 5 and 6 because they're coming at it from the side. I can see the audience faces, so just a slow pan of the audience. And number 3, a side pullback pan from either the worship leader that's on the other side of the stage. So it's over, the worship leader's over by the piano using camera 6, the worship leader's over by the organ using camera 5. So now you will never get bored operating live video. Motion paths are a lot of fun. It's a great way to challenge yourself by raising the excitement level of the production. So enjoy yourself and keep it moving, baby.